You know, school districts are incredibly complex systems. How do you get thousands of people, teachers, students, staff, all pulling in the same direction? Well, today we're going to dive into one district's answer, a brand new operating system for education that they're calling FRUPS.
And this is the central question, isn't it? It's a huge one that touches everything from tight budgets to teacher burnout. So let's see how Power Unified even started to tackle this.
So they started right where you should, by really defining the problem. What were the absolute core challenges that any new system would have to solve if it was going to have a real shot at working for teachers and students? And here's the key insight they had. The problem wasn't a lack of effort. Not at all. It was a lack of infrastructure. They needed a way to connect all the amazing work that was already happening and, just as importantly, make sure it could last.
And their answer to that infrastructure problem? Well, it's this new operating system for teaching and learning that they've named FRUPS.
Now, this is a really crucial distinction. Think about it like the OS on your phone or computer. It doesn't add more apps, it's the thing that makes all the apps you already have work together seamlessly. FRUPS isn't meant to be one more thing for teachers to do. It's the system designed to organize everything already on their plate.
And this slide just captures that shift perfectly. It's all about moving from that feeling of chaos, where everyone is juggling a dozen different tools and templates, to a place of clarity, with one single coherent structure for the entire district.
Okay, so an operating system sounds great, but what does it actually look like in practice? Let's dive into the core of it all, the central planning spine. This five-phase spine is really the engine of FRUPS. From the first day of kindergarten all the way to graduation, every student and teacher moves through this exact same learning journey. Just imagine the kind of consistency that creates across a whole district. All right, so we've seen the system, but the big question is, does it actually help Poway hit its biggest goals? Let's connect the dots here. Let's start with the big one, the one everyone's always thinking about, the budget. In a time of really tight finances, how can a new system possibly help save money?
Well, the short answer is just good old-fashioned efficiency. By bringing everything together under one roof, FRUPS cuts down on the need for all these separate trainings and different pieces of software. It just makes every dollar work a lot smarter.
But it's not just about the money. Not even close. How can a planning system actually help improve school culture and make schools feel more welcoming?
This is where it gets really interesting. FRUPS is designed to make inclusivity a daily habit, not just a special event or a one-off training. For instance, by embedding equity prompts right into every lesson plan, it nudges teachers to constantly think about the needs of all their students. So, what about the heart of the matter, the teaching and the learning? How does a system like FRUPS actually improve what's happening inside the classroom every day?
By giving everyone a shared roadmap for every lesson, the goal here is to really boost literacy and make sure that every single student gets access to a high-quality education no matter which classroom they happen to be in. Of course, we all know learning doesn't just stop at the school bell. So how does a system like FRUPS help connect with families and the wider community?
The key here is that community engagement isn't treated like an afterthought. It's literally built right into the learning process, which makes it a natural and consistent part of every kid's education.
And finally, what about the big picture? How does this whole new approach to teaching and learning actually connect to the district's goal of just running a more efficient operation?
The goal is basically to apply the same principles of clarity and efficiency you see in things like operations and finance to the world of instruction. It's about creating one truly unified system.
And here's the kicker. FRUPS also lines up perfectly with major state priorities. That means the district can meet all its state requirements and its own internal goals at the same time, all within this one single system. No more doing one thing for the state and another thing for the district.
So, what does this all add up to? When you put all these pieces together, what's the big picture impact of a system like FRUPS?
I think this quote just says it all. This is not one more thing. It is the thing that makes everything else work together. If FRUPS is successful, it's going to be that unifying thread, that central hub that connects every single part of the district's work.
And listen, this isn't just some big idea floating around. There's a very clear, step-by-step plan to make it a reality, starting with a small pilot program to test and refine the system before even thinking about rolling it out district-wide.
In the end, FRUPS is one district's answer to a question that, let's be honest, pretty much every educator is asking. What's truly possible for our students when we all finally start working together? It really makes you wonder,
What could a system like this unlock for your students?